Alright there folks, welcome to the fishing adventures, and I'm back up at the railway pond today. I put it to the vote yesterday after a bit of a nightmare barbel session on the NID as to what you guys wanted to see next, and the railway pond for roach was the clear winner, so here I am. It's a bit of a nightmare, I'm not gonna lie. the leaves are literally all in this area of the pond. I'm on peg 1. The aerator's on and it's just blowing everything in towards me. But I've plumbed up a couple of swims, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to have one on the right hand side that's about 5 foot deep, and I've just put some chopped worm and some maggots in there literally 2 minutes ago. On the other line that is slightly into deeper water, it's about 6.5 foot, and that's just on 4 sections of pole. And what I've done there is I've actually put in some ground bait and a few pinkies, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to fish a maggot or a double pinky over the top and see what happens. On the right hand line I'm going to fish either a worm head or a double maggot and just see. I'm thinking that there might be some slightly better fish in there because there's a lot more cover. It's where the lilies are, although they are dying down. It's a good option. There might be some bonus fish in there as well, you never know. But the water is crystal clear and it is quite cold. We've had a few chilly nights, a bit of rain, so there's tons of cold water gone in it. And it is absolutely crystal clear again, so it's going to be difficult, but I'm going to give it my best shot for you. Rig wise, I'll go through them a little bit further on into the session. But yeah, stick around, let's see what happens. So as I've said, bait choices can't be any simpler. Okay, the ground bait is this, and it is the Dynamite Baits Silver X Roach in black. Now there's quite a few particles in there which might have a bit of a detrimental effect, but it is roach you're after, and roach love hemp, so it's 50-50 on that one, to be fair. I maybe should have sieved off a few more of the particles and just had a finer ground bait going in, but we'll see. We've always got an option for later on. And as I said before, we've got the standard pinkies, red maggots, and we've got some worms. There's some red worms, there's some lobbies, and there's some dendras in there, all mixed up in pot. And we're just going to keep going and see what happens. So yeah, we're going to have a put in, and let's crack on. And so just a single maggot to start. I'm going to struggle to feed it through the leaves, but dear, that's autumn fishing for you, I suppose, isn't it? So I'm not feeding anything else initially, I'm just wanting to. Oh man, gotta try and lower that rig in between the leaves, which is a nightmare. But there we go, we're in and fishing. As I say, we're literally at top 2 and 3 sections, and it's 6.5 foot deep, so I think that's going to be plenty deep enough. And as I said, I've just fed a ball of ground bait with some pinkies in, just on that line. I was hoping I'd be able to flick the rig and fish it through the water, but I just can't lay the rig in, unfortunately, so we're going to have to be a little bit clever on this line, I think, and see. But if the aerator turns off, it might settle. I don't know how long it's going to be on for, so we'll see. But while the rig's in, just going to keep lifting and dropping and see if we can't entice a bite, and see. So, tiny little roach, about an ounce, if that. So, there's some fish there. There's some there. We just need to wade through a few of them, I think, and then hopefully a few more will come on. Some of the bigger ones. The match we had was a nightmare. There were just no big fish showing at all. It was oh, am I on a leaf? I am, damn it. There we go. Are we in now? We're on the water. Yeah, there were the decent roach, the eye, there were none of bloody leaves, come on. There was just nothing showing at all. And most of the catches were just those little tiny roach. So it's an opportunity just to just try a few things and see if those better fish are there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep dropping in on this line until the bites dry up a little bit, and then what I'll do is I'll top it up with ground bait, and then I'll switch lines, I think, and just see. That's the initial plan that I've got anyway. Whether we'll stick to it is another matter altogether, but that's the plan for now. There we go. That's a bit better. There we go. Also the stamp work we're after. Those are the ones we're after. Slightly better stamp. And just keep changing that up bait every fish. Make sure it's as fresh as possible. Oh man. These leaves are a nightmare. Oh dear. Well, they're certainly not coming thick and fast, but we're getting regular bites, and that is what it's all about, especially this time of year. When you've scaled down your rigs and stuff like that, you've just got to be patient. It's not going to fish like it does in summer. There's just no way. The fish are shoaling up. They want to be in that warmer water. They're not feeding as much, but they're still going to want a little feed. So you've just got to be really, really patient and not panic and not rush things. You know what I mean? It's difficult to be that patient and have that mentality, but it's got to be done, unfortunately. So I mean, that's our third fish now. So there's a few starting to ruck up. It's taking probably 5-6 minutes to get a bite. So it's going to be quite a slow day, I think, until it warms up a little bit more, and then I think we might get a faster response, but we'll see. But for now, I'm just going to leave it as it is. If we get another fish, I might just top it up a little bit. We'll see. We'll see what this next fish is. If it's a similar sort of size, I'll just go straight back in. If it's a bit smaller, then I'll top up and see if we can't get those better fish coming back in. So we'll see, but it's a good start. It's a good start. We've had 3 fish in 3 puttings, so it's all good. And I'll talk you through my rig when we get this next roach out as well, on this line. Right then, so as I said, it's like scaling down for winter is absolutely key for all venues, really. I really believe it makes a massive difference. So I've scaled down everything at the moment, and I'll show you my rigs in a second, but I start with everything from elastic, and the elastic that I'm using now is it's the MIDI reactor core, and it's just a great elastic. I've used it for a little while now. It is really good, and I've got this on the top kits for the railway pond. I've got the 4-6, the flame, which is brilliant. It's just enough for those really tiny fish, but it powers up enough if those bonus eyed come along as well, or the bream and stuff like that. In the other top kits, I've got the 8-12 and again, it does exactly the same. It's a lovely supple elastic, but it does power up quite quick. And in the top kits for the commercial fishing, I'm using the yellow version, okay? And that again is just perfect for this time of year, where they're going to pull a little bit, but not massive amount, and it just helps you get them in that little bit quicker. So mainline wise, what I'm using on my rigs is 0.12 low vis line, okay? I used to use 15 and 16 through some on commercials, even 0.18, but that it's just nowhere near going to do the business now. I mean, the water, especially on this pond, is absolutely crystal clear, so I've erred on the side of caution, gone 0.12. Float choice is Jazz Floats, 0.4 gram. Now this is for the worm line that I've got just to the right hand side, okay? It's a 0.4 gram glass stem float with a 1.5mm tip. Quite a positive float, but I'm fishing quite a positive way. It's about 5.5 foot, and as I say, I'm fishing wormhead or double maggot or a little red worm. I've got a little tiny bulk there, 3 number 8s, and then I've just got 3 number 10s, and they're going down onto a 6-inch hook length onto a size 18 Drennan maggot hook, and that hook length is 0.10. And as I said, that's a 6-inch hook length, and this one has got the Cerise, the stronger elastic in, okay, and that's just to get those. If those tench are there, we want to get them out door way, so that's that rig. For the other line, the line that we started on is this one, and again we've got the bright orange elastic. That is going on a 0.12 low vis line, and this is a 0.4 gram Jazz Floats carbon solid tip. So basically it's a 1mm tip on a carbon stem. Now my initial thought was to feed this through the water. It's about 6.5 foot where I've plumbed up, but the amount of leaves on the water, it's making it impossible to flick that rig and let it fall through. So I've gone for quite a compacted shotting pattern on this. Normally I'd have them spread out all the way through the bottom half of the rig, but these are in the bottom 18 inches to 2 foot, and it's basically dead simple, 4 number 8s going on to 2 number 10s, and again a 6-inch hook length. But on this one I've got a little size 20 hook because I'm fishing single maggot or double pinky, and this is the rig we're going to use now because we've had a few fish off it. Went on the worm line, and we've had 2 perch, which were to be expected. I was hoping there'd be something a little bit more substantial there, but while I was fishing that, I did top up this line with the ground bait and some pinkies, so I'm going to go back in with a single maggot and just see if there's anything waiting for us when this bait gets down there. It's one of them, to be fair. It's the others in the sun tend to fish a little bit better, but for what I want to get done today, this is ideal. So let's see if we can thread in through leaves. There we go.
Are you making a video there?
Yeah, just filming for YouTube. Right. So stuck on a leaf. Oh, come on.
How deep is it there then?
It's about 5.5 foot. So it's quite a deep little pond, to be fair. There we go. See if there's anything over there. Oh, I'm on a leaf again, aren't I? There. Oh, there we go. That's a perch, I think. Yeah, diggy perch. Not what I was hoping for, but at least there's fish there. I was hoping there might be a tench lurking, but obviously not yet. Just got worms on at the moment, but I've got another little line just in front of me for roach. Just been using pinky and maggots. So Okie dokie. Cheers. So, first put in over the chopped worm and maggot line, and we had a tiny little perch. I've gone back in with a full red worm. Oh, and then again, it's another perch, I think. Yeah. But that's a good sign, because it shows that the fish are going to be there, and they're having a bit of a feed on that line now. So it's always a good option just to try these worms over at tops. You never know what's there. It's a good bait just to get those bonus fish out as well. As I say, in winter on a natural venue, I'll always have a worm with me of some description anyway, just because they are a fantastic bait. Got to be careful some days that you don't overdo it feeding the choppy in. I've chopped this up quite fine, really. Another leaf. There we go. Yeah, I've chopped this up quite fine, more just to get the scent into the water. But if some decent fish do move in, then it's always worth chopping it a bit coarser, so you've got some bigger lumps in there, and obviously fishing a bigger bit on the hook. But this is just a great option to have that second line while that ground bait is breaking down again with those pinkies. We've had 4 fish off there, and we can let it settle again now and then drop back in, and hopefully the better stamp will be there, or slightly more fish, and we can clatter a few more before we need to top up again. So we'll see. I'm hoping that there might be a tench or two down in this corner, actually. It used to be a really, really good tench beg years ago, but things change, don't they, all the time, so keep plugging away. And of course the good quality roach do like a bit of worm now and again as well, so all about keeping those options open. Can avoid the leaves. Right, so where's my marker? Always important to have a far bank marker. In this case, it is just one of the metal supports that are holding one of the platform boards in place. And I'm on it's quite a slope as well, so I've had to feed the ground bait slightly uphill. So when it sinks, it'll break down and hopefully carpet that little slope. It's not a massively steep slope, it is quite gentle, but I want to make sure that I'm fishing over the bait if I can. Again, just being a bit more accurate always works. Let's get an indication straight away there. Yep, there we go. Lovely, lovely. Whoopsies. Those are what we want. Bang in the top lip. And look at that. Perfect. And they're the stamp you'd expect to be catching. And those are the stamp you want to catch, really. You've probably seen my catch report from the match we had up here. Last weekend before last, actually it was, but yeah, it was dismal. I drew proper bad end at lake and had 4 fish basically for 6 ounces. So I mean, I've been fishing probably an hour, and I've beaten that already by miles. But oh man, where's that hook bear in relation to that? Trying to thread this bait into a bit of open water is a nightmare. So many leaves. There we go. It's worth trying to do it accurately. A few fish topping now as well. Right there this earlier, so actually I got here quite late as well, but hey ho, not to worry. Oh, straight away. I think that took it on the drop actually. That is a good sign. That is a very good sign. Oh, it's a perch, that's probably why. Yeah. Right then. So, looks like there's a few fish moving around now. Oh, I'm going to get a fish a chuck, it don't really matter. And probably the most important bit of kit through winter is your flask. Oh, another perch, getting slightly bigger. So I wouldn't have thought they'd be coming in over that ground bait, but maybe gone a bit mad with loose feed, I think. We shall see. I'm just going to give this one more lift and drop and just see, because we should have had a bite by now. Oh, there we go. By lifting it we induced that bite then. Always an option. Oh, it's a perch, so there we go. Right then, so we seem to be getting perched out at the moment. So what I'm going to do is, when that train disappears. Right then, so because we keep getting perched out and I know there's roach there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to top up again with some ground bait and a few pinkies, but I'm going to put in a second ball of ground bait as well. I want to get a good bit of it in now. We know there's fish there. I'm just going to put this one in. I've not squeezed it quite tight. I want it to break up within a couple of foot, 3 foot of it going in, and just create that nice cloud and that nice bed on the bottom. That's what we want. There we go. That's in there. It'll break up. Lovely jubblies. And while that's doing that, I'm going to go back in on the other line. But I'm going to have double maggot on this time. We went in with worm before and we ended up getting 2 perch. So I think a double maggot and see, might just be enough to tempt us something else, a bit of a bonus fish maybe. There's fish topping again all over, so right then, get on that marker, drop that rig in, proper job. See what's there. Not fed this line massively, but as I say, it's always a good option just to have a backup line when you're letting your main line rest. And who knows, this could turn into the better line. Using the bigger baits and stuff, you might just get into those bonus fish. Not going to give it long on here. probably 10 minutes. See if there's anything there. As I say, we've got in straight away now on double maggot. We'll give this bait 5 minutes, then we'll go in with a worm or half a worm and just see if that instigates a bite. But we're not going to stay on it long unless there's some decent fish down there. And it could be that there's just perch. There we go, what's going to resist that? 2 little red worms. Probably get a 2-ounce perch now. But we'll see. We will see. Took a fair bit of time to come, that little bite. That was on the worm after I'd swapped over from double maggot, so it doesn't look like there's much there at the moment, so I'm going to leave that. Drop back in on the maggot line and just see what's there now. No point sitting on that if we're just getting the tiny perch. It seems a bit silly to me, so there we go. Single maggot. Let's see if there's some more roach there. There's been a few fish topping now over that area where the ground bait's gone in, but right then, so we've rested this for 10 minutes. Put in 2 balls of ground bait and a few pinkies. Oh, look at that straight away. As soon as that float settled, then we're in. I think it's... Oh, that is a roach. Yay! So there we go. Back on the roach. That's what we want. That is a lovely fish as well. Look at that. Perfect. And that's what we want. So, less loose feed, more ground bait seems to be the way forward. The aerator's finally stopped as well now, so you'll be able to hear me speak properly, hopefully. There we go. Oh, it feels a bit better. Oh, it's a perch. Bigger perch though, eh? Goodness me, what is going on here? There we go. Not a bad perch, but not the fish we want. No. Keep going in, and again, just single maggot. It's nothing. Nothing different or difficult or anything like that. It's just being mega accurate. That is the key to this. As I say, I've not fed a single thing via hand. Everything has gone in on the cupping kit. I'm not even fishing with pole pots today. I don't want to introduce a ton of feed, little dribbles. I'd rather pot it in a good amount of ground bait, get the fish feeding confidently over it, and then clatter a few out. See straight away there, just as that float settled, I'm getting a bite. So another perch. But they're not a bad sized fish, them. I don't mind catching a few of them in between getting the decent sized roach out, so we'll keep plugging away. Again, there's not much we can do about the leaves, but there we go. That's a better fish, I think. Oh no, he's a little one. Oh, he's a foul hooker, that's why. Shot off like a stabbed rat. That was a bit stupid of you there, Perch, wasn't it? But you're in net. I'll count you. Right, I'm just going to pan that camera around so you can see just what I'm trying to fish into. Right then. So, bearing in mind, we're fishing for roach. The main line is literally just in there, and as you can see, it is a nightmare basically. The other line I've got it's literally there, so there is a little clear patch, but it's just a nightmare. It is nowhere near ideal for anything basically, but there you go. Right, came onto the worm line because the other line was just totally leafed out, but since I've swapped and gone on here, there's just a massive sheet of leaves. It's nightmare. Oh, we got the bite anyway. We got the bite. I think it's a little perch, so I'm gonna come off it, I think, and get back onto the ground bait line. Yeah, diddy perch. That's no good, is it? That's no good. Plunk. Right then. That's on a leaf or something, isn't it? Oh, something's... Yeah, got it on the drop. It's behind a little roach. Oh, perch. What a surprise. Oh, that took it on drop, didn't it? Ah, dear. Oh, it's a foul looker, isn't it? I don't know. Shock of my life, then. Oh no, hooked properly. Angry little perch. Yeah, dear. Yeah, there seems to be a fair few there now. In numbers, they're getting it on drop, so... Got a couple of options really. We can either keep trying to flick this rig as best we can through the leaves and intercept them that way, or we could shallow up a bit and see if we can tempt them a bit shallower, but they seem to be all through water column now. And that's because I fed that last top up with ground bait. I fed it quite loose, I didn't squeeze it. I wanted it just to kind of break up mid-depth and create that cloud, and that's, it seems to have just brought in a few more fish. Admittedly they are smaller than they were before, but it's paying off a little bit, I think, although this is another little diddy. But we're getting regular bites, and that's what it's all about sometimes. It's you've got to be patient and wade through these knowing that while you're catching, but there's also that chance of the better fish coming on as well. So just about being patient, and again, it's this time of year, it's a finicky time of year. And trying to work out what is best to do and when is, well, that's the battle, basically, to be honest. It's about trying to be as positive as you can be and knowing that what you're doing is working, and then just letting the session develop. We've not been fishing long at all, really, to be fair. I mean, it's I got here late as it was, and it's just coming up to 1 o'clock now, so I think we've been fishing an hour and a half in total, if that. And we've had more or less a fish a chuck, to be fair, since we started. And as I say, I've not fed anything via a pole pot. It's all gone in on the cupping kit. I've not fed anything by hand either, so I mean, an option would be now with the sun out. There's been a few fish topping. It might be an idea just to bumped him, just to get a little. Has he dumped me? Totally. He has, you know. A waggler out and just fish shallow, and blast in a few maggots and stuff. But trying to get that through all these leaves and that is a nightmare, to be fair. So we're gonna just stick to what we're doing now. Another big fat red maggot on. Oh, that's a better fish. There we go. So, he's unlocked himself in net as well. Perfecto. Look at that. Nice little stripy, lovely jubblies. So it seems to be that now we had that little runner roach, didn't we? On maggot. And then we started getting the odd small perch on the maggot as well, and double pinky. But now, because I've swapped over to worm, we just seem to be getting the slightly better stamp perch. Unfortunately, it's not the species I was hoping to target today, but in these conditions, it's just a welcome bite, basically. And to be fair, we've had a bite of chuck as well. And you can't argue with that at this time of year, especially. I mean, some days it is just going to be notoriously hard. And no matter what you do, you're going to struggle. But days like today, you've got to make hay while the sun shines, really. Tangled. No, there we go. And just take those opportunities, really. Right then, folks, there we go. I'm going to end the session there. It's 1:45, to be fair. So I've done probably 2.5, nearly 3 hours fishing. And we've had pretty much a fish a chuck, to be fair. By far the best line has been the line just in front of me, just with the dynamite baits, black roach, ground bait, fishing a single maggot over the top of that. The line to my right hand side, where I fished the chopworm and the maggots, produced perch primarily. I've dropped on there 3 times and had 2 perch out each time, basically. No bonus fish to speak of. The roach were quite small, but the trouble is, it's just complete. It's just a blanket of leaves now, and trying to get that rig in is nigh on impossible. and I've got the same issue now in front of me. I'm having to kind of thread the rig through, and every time a shot catches or the wind blows the line and it lays across the leaf, the presentation is really suffering. So I'm gonna cut it short and finish now. Basically, I'm gonna get all the gear tidied away, and then I'll get these fish out and show you exactly what we've done. And there we go. Nice little net of silvers, some decent-ish perch in there, a couple of good sized roach as well, and a non-single maggot over the ground bait. So it just goes to show, just by persevering and keeping things really simple, scaling down your tackle, you're going to keep getting those bites. So yeah, until next time, tight lines, and I'll catch you all later. Cheers.